Okay, back with a quick update and some assembling instructions. As you saw in the unboxing, this pan here was in one piece, and why my camera's not focusing, I don't know. There we go. Anyway, it was in one piece. The casters needed to be screwed on, and these uprights needed to be put on. That's why I don't have the fourth upright on there, so I can show you how to do that. This rubber mat here, you need to remove it when you put the casters on. You know, these are all, let me show you real quick. See how there's no hex head on here, you just have the square fitting in here. When you slide it into there, it drops in, will hold it in place. What you need is one wrench or ratchet, 13 millimeter. That's all the tools other than a screwdriver that you'll need, a Phillips head screwdriver, to put this together. There's two different lengths. You have two of these. They're two different lengths. Okay, you see that? The longer one is for the casters, the shorter one is for everything else. Okay, there's going to be two baggies. One baggie has all the shorter ones, one baggie has the longer ones. All the casters have vinyl lock nuts and washers to go with them. The other ones just have these nuts here with I don't know what that locking little thread or tooth type thing on the flange part of the nut, but that's all that's in the other one. Okay. Washers and the nuts go down on the bottom on the casters. When you install your casters, make sure that your pivoting casters are on the same side. I guess if you really wanted to, I guess you could put your pivoting casters on the front and no, actually you can't even do that. Let me strike that. Because of the way the holes are drilled in here, the casters are only going to mount one way because they're rectangular mounts. So make sure your pivoting casters are on the same side, or else you're going to be doing the job twice. Go ahead and tighten those up all the way, and the rest of this you install them just hand tight, because you need to have a little bit of play because there's so many bolts in here, so that nothing is out of alignment because you went and wrenched it down too tight. You'll be able to go back and tighten everything down later. These are the same way. You just slide them in there, hold it with your finger, tighten down the nut on the inside, just like that. The one thing I want to show you though, and why I left this piece off, is from a distance, this looks like it could go one way or the other. But if you measure and you look hard enough, this right here, the distance from the center of this to that, is shorter than this by, I don't know, about a half inch or so. The side that has the shorter distance goes down. It does say that in the instructions, so make sure that you're aware of that, and you make sure this part is down here for the base. Okay, and again, tighten everything up hand tight and until you're all the way 100% complete, finished installing it. So I'm going to go ahead and edit in the next part of this video, after I get this other leg on and get the next step going. Okay, so we got the second stage bolted together, again hand tight. One thing that I wanted to show you is how to assemble this section. This is where you're going to put on this little tray. In the instructions, it's really difficult to pay. If you don't pay attention real close, you'll not realize that this bar here is also there. You could easily just put this tray on and not include this bar. In all actuality, it probably is not that necessary. I mean, it's a little bit thicker metal than this tray is, so for strength it is, but I almost put this together without that, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, why do I got an extra piece? And I was looking really hard at the instructions, and you can see it in there. So these are L-shaped. You can see right here. So the top, the 90-degree bend is on top. Okay, install the shorter side first, on both sides, and then install the longer sides second. Reason being is if you look right here, the longer side sits a little bit above it. Okay, these tabs right here, this is essentially going to be the base of where this kind of sits on top of that. I don't know how tight that's going to be sitting on there or not. I guess we'll find out here in a little bit. But basically all we have left outside of installing the handle and the gas struts for the lid is to put this inside of this and bolt it together here. Okay, these will bolt right here. You have these little brackets will go on the inside and sandwich this together for strength. This is where the bulk of the stress is going to be, is right here. That's why they're doubling up the metal there. I'm not going to bother to show you us putting that part together, so I'm just going to put it together and then we'll look at how we're installing this handle. Let me look at the instructions real quick and make sure that handle's not supposed to go on first. Actually, it is supposed to go on kind of at the same time. The handle will be bolted right there. The same bolts. Okay, so that's one thing that you're going to have to take into consideration too. So, yeah, so the next step will be the struts. We'll show you that when we're done installing this part. Okay, we're complete. Everything's tightened up. Basically, once you install this top section here, actually not everything is tightened up. What the fuck am I doing? We got one bolt here that's not tightened up. Once you drop the toolbox into the stand, what you need to look for, if you look close here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Let's see if we can get you some light here. There we go. You see that little tab right there? There's 4 of those. There's one on each side over here. Can't really see it there. Make sure that it is on the outside of the toolbox. Okay? Once you drop it down in, you're going to have to pick it up and drop it down into all 4 legs. Once it's in, you have these brackets here. Again, there's the distance between here and here is shorter than it is from here to there. The instructions don't tell you which way to put that. Put the shorter side up, and the reason being is you see this lip right here? This bracket needs to be below that lip. If you have it the other way around, it'll sit way up here and won't be below that lip. So make sure that's right. Again, the instructions don't tell you nothing about it. With the handle, you can see here's the extra bolts that were in this whole setup. We had 2 of these and 2 of those, and one of the longer caster ones, and 1 lock washer, or 1 lock nut and 1 washer. The instructions say to use these. I wouldn't have had 2 extras of these for the handle, for the bottom bolt on this handle. I opted not to because you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of metal here. You got the handle thickness, this, and then the inside bracket. If I would have put this in there, it would have been fine, but the amount of threads stick out was like that, maybe 3 or 4 threads, which would have been fine. As soon as you tighten it down, it would have stuck out. But if you look here, when I use the longer one, it looks equal to all the rest of them. So that's why I used the longer bolts, because they were extra anyways for this bottom bracket. You're going to have to eventually use a regular wrench like this, and it's just due to clearance to get down into this particular bolt and that bolt. I mean, you might be able to get the ratchet in there. It's just, it's a tight fit. So, and you're going to need the wrench anyways. The reason you're going to need the wrench is when you install the struts. Okay, you're going to have to use the wrench on this side, ratchet on the other side. Same up here. I did notice this is bent up here. I'm going to try to straighten that out. Hopefully I don't pop those tack welds. I don't know if that was like that or if I did that or what, but it's bent. This side's not. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers and straighten that out here in a second. Outside of that, the only real complaint I guess I can say is I don't like this. If you look, this sits at an angle. I would prefer it to be up at a full 90 degrees. As you close this though, if you look, the shocks are pretty much bottomed out at that point. You got about an inch. Okay, so I may be able to drill a hole about an inch this direction, which would probably completely collapse the shock, and I'm still not 100% sure it'll raise the lid up to a full 90, but it'll at least be a lot better. So I do think at some point I might try to drill that hole. You know, that's a preference thing. Some people might not care. That kind of bothers me. So I might drill that extra hole and see if I like it like that better. Outside of that, I'm happy with this. You know, everything's nice and sturdy. You know, I like the drawers. All the drawers slide easily in and out. You know, I've got the storage underneath. I'm not sure if I'll even ever use that, but who knows. The reason being is I'm tall and I'm fat and I don't like bending down to the ground to pick up bullshit. But you never know. If you're laying underneath a vehicle, I could throw my grinder underneath there and some small tools that I might need and wheel this thing up next to the truck and have a little low tray where I can grab tools from and put them back in there so they're not just all over the ground. So who knows? I'm happy with it. I like it. Set that down, sits down just fine. Lift up on it, and there you go. Real happy with it. You know, for 100 and what I pay for it, 170 plus tax. You know, I don't think you're going to really beat that anywhere. You might, but I doubt it unless you get something used. Not to the quality of this, anyways. You know, they do have the black one that is the same quality. Don't get me wrong about that. The casters are a little bit more light duty than these, but not much. They're still pretty heavy duty. And the only difference is really the size. And like I said in the previous video here, you don't have this big drawer here. What you have is this drawer would be down here next to this one, side by side, and the height of this would just be dropped down so it's lower. Also, the cabinet is just a little bit narrower as far as its width. You know, the depth I think is the same. The lid opens and closes the same. It doesn't have the little tray off to the side. I will say that the distance for this bottom tray is a little bit taller than this one. They both have this feature inside here. I mean, I wouldn't store my ratchets there, but you know, if you got anything, not necessarily screwdrivers, I mean, I guess you could. I've got all these screwdrivers I got free from Harbor Freight. Let's drop them down here. You know, technically they could all go in there. And you can see them all down here. I highly doubt that that's where I'm going to put them, just because I need to be able to see the ends, see what I'm grabbing for. But yeah, you can find some use for that. I'm positive of it. And about it. Maybe some quart of oil cans. I don't think I have any laying around here. Do I have a quart of oil in that thing? Go look. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be power steering. If it's the same size, grab it. If you're wondering who I'm talking to my assistant, my daughter. We got a sticker back here. Let me show you this while we're waiting. Okay, I'm positive you can read that. And if I left too soon, pause it. As far as the construction of the main toolbox is concerned, you know, it's all pop riveted, which is good and bad. My experience with pop riveted items is the rivets, if they're taking any kind of load whatsoever, they get loose. The good part about that is pop rivets are a dime a dozen, and drill them out and put new ones in. This is not exactly a quart of oil, but it's definitely wider, as wide if not wider than one. So, you know, you could put 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of them in there, which is kind of nice. As far as storage is concerned, I've been using just a smaller toolbox with 3 drawers. And, you know, the top was an old Craftsman box that I got with a tool set. You know, the top opens up like this. Obviously not as big, but you got storage on the top, and then you got 3 small drawers because it's not nearly as wide as this. And it's made do for a long time. I don't have a lot of tools as far as hand tools are concerned, but I plan on changing that. But between my next project and this, I should have plenty of tool storage. I'm going to be building a couple of workbenches, kind of a similar layout to this, obviously not as ratty and whatever. This was just makeshift real fast. But if you guys have seen, if you've gone to Lowe's and you've seen, they've got some workbenches in there for roughly about $200. I think one of them's painted black or powder coated, I'm not sure. Then the other one's stainless steel. I'm basically going to try to build something like that. They got pegboard backs instead of shelves, and then like at the top there's a little cabinet type thing that's probably worthless because the lid on it is at an angle. I'm going to build something like that, and that's where I'm going to be hanging all of these poly bins from. If you look at my other review, there's an unboxing and details of what I think about those. Those are from Harbor Freight as well, so check out my other videos. I'm going to be using those on there as well as some other ones that I've got coming in the mail. But between all of that, and I've got some storage here and there in my other toolbox still, I should have plenty enough once I start getting some newer and better hand tools. So I'm happy. 170 bucks, can't beat it. I don't think so. If you think so and you know where there's something out there that's better for that kind of money, let me know, because I might want another one. So subscribe, comment, like, head down to the description, like my Facebook page. That'll be the first link, Alvarez Metalworks. I'll have a link to Harbor Freight where this toolbox is, the exact link for it. And I'll put a link to the unboxing of those poly things. There's, you know, some other Harbor Freight stuff too if you haven't been paying attention to my channel. I'll put a link down there to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Again, subscribe, comment, like, and I will talk to you guys later.